I'm Pinpingho, and I will show the world why I am called Shaman himself.
Challenge accepted. Since winning America's Championship, all I've done is play more Hearthstone. It's all about winning BlizzCon now.
我的第一个对手 Purple， 其实我对他了解的并不太多。我对他印象最深刻的呢，就是他被阿坎给踢出去了。
Pinpingho is bringing a Shaman deck. I've actually played only 3 games against Shaman in the last like 3 months. He's also bringing Hunter and Druid.
大家觉得萨满很烂，是因为现在他并不知道萨满的这个牌组。
The X factor is just going to be my weird rogue against his weird shaman, something that hasn't been in the meta in a long time.
那我认为我这样我有很大的优势。
I wouldn't change anything about my preparations if I knew my opponent was Pinpingho.
我们的选手，我们有相当多的顶尖选手。那我很幸运的可以击败 Tom。
I'm gonna bring solid decks, what I think is good, and we'll see what happens. Yes, I made it, Mom.
Pinpingho versus Purple.
Alright guys, welcome back. I'm Crip, joined here by Amaz and Robert. How are you guys doing?
Great. That was quite the video. Obviously, 2 very different players, and I think that's what makes this matchup so exciting. Purple is all business. He's all about what's the best deck. I'm going to play it the best way. Pinpingho's here to prove something, though. He's here to prove that Shaman is a really good deck, and wherever that he belongs, kind of at this Hearthstone World Championship.
I love how animated he was. We were just watching some of the prior matches. If you're a player in the tournament, you don't want to miss a moment of anyone else's matches. And he interview, he went all out.
Yeah,
I love that style.
Yeah. All the hand motions, all the shots fired. Pretty good. Impressed.
Pretty good. Now, you might have some experience playing with Purple. How do you feel his chances are on this, kind of facing a little bit of an unknown metagame, perhaps? One player from a foreign side of the world, and they also are bringing decks like Shaman that they're confident in.
Yeah, the Asia region is definitely quite interesting in that they do value like other cards very highly, especially the swing cards like Kazan Mystic and Harrison Jones. And here we see that Pinpingho is actually going to bring a Shaman, so if Purple isn't prepared for it, he might be thrown for a loop. We don't even know what the Shaman is, right?
All right, well, we'll have to find out. The game is about to start. And there they are, the handshake. The good manners.
For now.
Both players bringing in the Druid, so that's pretty standard. Pinpingho with the Hunter. But Purple with the Rogue. We saw Osaka's Rogue do fair. I mean, we can't say it dominated, but it did okay.
Oh, I think it dominated
you think
against
it dominated?
the Paladin. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was a mid-range Paladin. How many of those decks can you expect to face?
True.
And it didn't win against the Druid. It was very close, but it didn't quite go all.
But would you say that the Rogue matchup against the Secrets Paladin is by any chance any good?
My experience with that, and that's obviously fairly limited compared to a lot of the players here, but Secret Paladin just has so many different ways to just repopulate the board to where your Fan of Knives, your Blade Flurries that you would usually use against other slower minion-based classes to clear the board, it just doesn't really have as much impact. So against Secret Paladin, not so great, but I like what I've been seeing from Rogue so far. I think it's kind of a wily pick, and it's something that is very much reacting to the Grim Patron changes. So
that's true.
I don't know. I think Osaka played it very well. I know for a fact that Purple plays Rogue extremely well.
Yeah.
So,
well, the funny thing how this worked out is we have one player playing Shaman, and this is something people that don't actually know because it never actually happens. But if you are the Rogue and you're playing against the Shaman, you're extremely favored.
Extreme, yeah. Even if the Totem Shaman, right?
Right.
I mean, if we're expecting...
Probably especially the Totem Shaman.
Yeah, but if it's a Face Shaman, like the one with just the Mech Shaman, right? I think the Mech Shaman is a little bit favored against the Rogue. Rogue needs a little bit of time to develop stuff, you know, and then, you know, stall off the board.
Possibly, but by Pinpingho's comments, he talked about how people just don't know how to like build and play Shaman.
Sure.
That would kind of indicate that it's a more complicated Shaman and not necessarily the type that Lava Bursts you in the end.
Okay, so complicated Shaman, it means that not a lot of people are playing Shaman, right?
Well, there's a couple of different Shaman decks you see floating around on ladder right now. Like you can see the Mech Shaman, as you pointed out, the more kind of like board grindy Totem Shaman. And then there's the one-turn kill Shaman, which I have seen a couple of times.
Maybe that's the one people don't know how to play.
Right. So for this match, though, we see Pinpingho is actually opening up with Hunter. And it looks to be, at the very least, hybrid. Could actually just straight up be Face Hunter. And then we see Purple, you know, opening up with the Druid. I like Purple opening up with the Druid. Druid is kind of one of those decks that doesn't have any just, you know, clear counters, so it's not just like you're just going to pick into something that's just going to destroy you. So very solid. He has a good opening hand as far as the Wild Growth, he innervates. Keeper of the Grove is very, very good against Hunter. Great at dealing with things like Knife Juggler. Great at silencing Mad Scientist. So very solid card to have in the opening. Wrath is also very good.
Yeah, Wrath has a very good role here where, I mean, against the Face Hunter, you're basically always hitting it for one anyway, and you kind of need to cycle through the deck if you have a high ramp opener, which he does.
Right. Find those heals, find those taunts, and then close out the game with combo.
Yeah, Pinpingho is debating whether or not he wanted to just go ahead and play down the double Leper Gnome. Probably the strongest start you can have on turn 1 in terms of raw power. So much damage coming out of that. He's got a great turn 2 follow-up. If a Darnassus Aspirin comes out, he can get rid of it with Quick Shot. So very, very good opening hand for Pinpingho, regardless of the archetype of his Hunter deck.
Sure.
What do you like here? Do you like the Keeper?
Keeper does deal with one of the threats. The other option would be to innervate a Hero Power and Wrath to kill both of the threats. But then I think drawing the Adric means that if you innervate the Keeper, Wild Growth on the next turn, you can play Adric the following up. So that's a pretty natural curve there. So both options seems pretty good.
You also get the Keeper of the Grove body on the board. The 2/4 is actually very frustrating for a Hunter to deal with based on a lot of experience. Keeper of the Grove, I would say, is actually the most... It's not even Ancient or Druid of the Claw. Druid of the Claw is the obvious problem for Hunter. I think Keeper of the Grove early on is really the big issue for kind of
I was going to innervate Wild Growth the Keeper next turn.
That also makes the curve really smooth, so I like this play too.
Yeah. We'll see if that Mad Scientist comes down. You know, Pinpingho probably thinking about Keeper, so it's something that'll be kind of be on his mind. And like I said, we're not sure necessarily like what traps he's going to have, so that may or may not be a bigger impact.
Well, as you mentioned, the Keeper is basically certain because the only way you'd innervate a Wild Growth is if you had exactly a 4-mana card.
Well, Shredder could also be something you're thinking about. And if you're the Druid and you don't have Keeper, obviously getting out the pressure of Shredder, which is a very high power minion for its cost, is something to which you might also consider. But yeah, I'm sure you're more afraid of Keeper of the Grove. That's definitely something you're giving more thought to.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a Shredder, you would probably Hero Power instead and just clear off both things, right? And then Wild Growth next turn,
right?
Because the the Shredder just dies to like a bow or something. But it's definitely interesting. Pinpingho here is probably gonna play the Mad Scientist here.
Yep. He ended up drawing a Quick Shot for the turn, which is not necessarily the best card. It's a little bit clunky, as really when you have a Quick Shot, you just want to dump your hand as fast as possible to actually get the draw effect from it.
But it still deals 3 damage.
Yeah.
And damage is what matters.
Do you guys like Keeper of the Grove to just get rid of the Leper Gnome or to silence the Mad Scientist?
I think you just get rid of the Leper Gnome because if you give him the option to trade with the Mad Scientist, you're also preventing another 2 damage.
Right. As you pointed out, Crip, his hand a little bit clunky right now. Double Quick Shot, you usually don't ever want to have 2 Quick Shots in the hand because you're trying to take advantage of its unique ability, which is to draw a card if you have nothing in hand.
Also, that trap is really bad. If you play Leper Gnomes, you're either playing Hybrid or Face.
Yeah.
And usually what that means is you're not running 3 traps usually. So if you're running 2 traps and you just drew the other one, that's usually problematic.
So do you activate the trap right now so that you don't draw the second freezing trap, thereby the Mad Scientist just like fizzles out?
I don't know. I think you might just bow down the minion.
And then just trade, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we witnessed earlier, Hunter has to kind of make a decision on when it chooses to kind of like put the pedal on the gas and just start going face. I think this, as you pointed out, this is a little bit early for Pinpingho to begin going for that. Might just be safer to get rid of that 2/4, activate the trap, have up the 1 charge of the Eagle Horn Bow. But obviously he's taking a lot of time to consider these turns. These early turns are very important for the Hunter to kind of set up their tempo and what they're going to do.
Also,
wow.
in the back room, I noticed that Pinpingho was commenting on a lot of the plays the players are making. So he seems very decisive in his plays. So I think he's one of those players that like instantly gets what has to happen and just has to really assure himself that's what he wants to do.
Right. So that the decision to leave up the injured Keeper of the Grove, obviously with Druid of the Claw, that's going to get to live now, probably for a while.
Yeah.
Unless he wants to sacrifice both quick shots to get down the Druid of the Claw.
Well, we're still watching her.
Join us right now for more Hearthstone action.
Okay. Yeah, just a little bit error there. But it seems like both players are not flinching into trading. They're just going for face. Like, I can win the race. No, I can win the race, you know?
I mean, both Druid and Hunter are known for just pumping out a ton of damage really quickly, so... I really wonder if Pinpingho is actually just considering here the double quick shot into the Druid of the Claw, which would feel awful.
I think with the Dr. Boom draw after the other trap draw, I think you're basically throwing in the towel on drawing a card from quick shot this game.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, even then, it still just feels awful, and obviously Druid of the Claw is really good because of this, generally. To throw in 2 cards into Druid of the Claw,
that is pretty...
He could just use the bow, too, if he wants to save the second quick shot.
Yeah, but then you have the Mad
traps.
Scientist. Yeah, you have the traps to enable
so it's just going to be double quick shot there.
Okay.
Ooh. That hurts me as a Hunter player. Just hurts on the inside.
Purple's pretty happy to see that, though.
Purple is very happy to see that.
I like the trade, but obviously I would have liked it more last turn.
Right.
Yeah. Well, you get into these situations as the aggressive player where you're like, I'm going to force my opponent to make the trade, and then something like Druid of the Claw comes down. You get a little bit punished for it. So
Pinpingho needs some help, and Juggler's not really that good. It's actually really bad. Because Purple can respond with a 2 damage Wrath and draw a card.
And as something that was brought up earlier, now the freezing trap's already down, so you can't even play the freezing trap. This turn is pretty awful for Pinpingho as far as like what his options are. And this is again something mentioned before, that you're in situations when you're at this high level of play where sometimes you have to make suboptimal plays, and it's to you to decide which suboptimal play are you going to go with. There is no clear good play. So.
Well, that's often the case in close games and losing games.
Right.
Ooh.
You got to do it. You got to keep going. You got to keep pushing for the board. It's why he made the Mad Scientist trade. Also, I think it's quite indicative that with the way he was playing, he really tried to squeeze out the value of his Mad Scientist, knowing that his only other trap was another freeze trap. We can see that it's not playable.
Right.
This is going to be great for Purple. He can now Wrath for 2 to draw a card if he wants to get rid of the Night Juggler and cycle a card. So. This is just great for Purple. This is kind of the dream a little bit.
Actually, with swipe in hand, I think you just don't attack at all.
Yeah, the spell power it's worth a lot against a Hunter, but no, go ahead and pops the trap first.
I don't like that too much, and that is going to get punished.
Yeah, because Pinpingho does have a second trap, right?
Yeah.
Right, so.
Looks like he's going to innervate the Azure Drake, perhaps? Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, so he's going to end up floating a mana with this play, but he is getting a lot of reasonable value.
Sure, he gets 4 mana back.
Right. So that's fine. If you do some basic math, he still comes out ahead in terms of mana gained.
Oh, Hunter's Mark. There we go. That's a cool one.
That's yeah, this is the second time we've seen it. And Hunter's Mark is a card that not all Hunters are running, right? So it's kind of one that it goes in and out based on what you expect to see in tournaments. And if you're expecting to run into a lot of Druids, which I think is a very fair assumption, I think including one Hunter's Mark is totally reasonable. You're going to run into Druid of the Claw. Maybe not Ancient of War in most decks now, but you're going to at least run into Druid of the Claw. You might run into Thaurissan, something like even Dr. Boom. The ability to get rid of the 7/7 body is really big.
Also good against another good set of matchups like Handlock or Warrior. It comes in handy.
I mean, he really is playing like the weirdest hybrid hunter, right? Like he's got Leopard Gnomes in this deck. We can't forget about that part.
Yeah.
Well, Leopard Gnome, I think.
Like I was about to say that it's like a pure control hunter, and that's cool, but there were Leopard Gnomes earlier in the game.
Well, I think. So this is kind of a weird list because you brought up like Hybrid Hunter, I believe, does run Leopard Gnome. So it runs Leopard Gnome over Web Spinner. But yeah, the one Hunter's Mark is very like, it's a meta read, right? It's not necessarily something that comes standard in Hybrid Hunter because Hybrid, the big differentiation is it just runs faster than mid-range.
Yep.
Because you have like those Argent Horse.
Right.
Yeah, so.
Well, Pinpingho definitely wishes those Leopard Gnomes were like Web Spinners instead. Since he's just like
they did not prove to be very effective with the extra damage that they did.
Yeah.
Pinpingho forced to make a difficult decision here. Do you play Dr. Boom or do you play Haunted Creeper?
Okay.
What would you do in this situation, Amos?
I would think a bit first.
Sure.
Like Pinpingho is doing now.
Absolutely. But what would you land on?
I guess I would land on the Dr. Boom.
That's a pretty good.
Yeah?
That's a pretty good card.
It's okay?
Crip, we all agree we like Dr. Boom.
Well, Dr. Boom could get like BGH or something, right?
Oh.
Yeah.
It's true. Your
That's
spider
true.
can't. Haunted Creeper does not die. to
And
the
you
game
also
hunter.
press the hero power button.
Right.
Yep. That's
Right.
2 damage.
That is
No, I think Pinpingho is one of those players that actually has a very quick decision and often just reflects on the repercussions of what's going on, the future turns, the possibilities of your opponent. Kind of like the life coach style of things. I think life coach actually makes like all the possible decisions very quickly and just goes into the details of the results.
Well,
See
that
if my-
math draw was
If
really
my
good.
theory about bombs and Azure Drake holds.
All right, 2.
4? No.
Oh,
I've been saying this. I've been saying this. This just happens.
It
The
looks like a
Azure
bug.
Drake. The Azure Drake is the like if you look at the food chain in Hearthstone, it's like Boombot eats Azure Drake.
Okay.
Okay.
So if you were purple, you would have dropped the Shredder first, just to lessen the chance of that happening.
I mean, I feel like it would have happened regardless, so it's not even a matter of sequencing.
Okay.
But it puts on a better show if it happens afterwards.
It's true.
Oh.
It does.
Well, just with the Boombot killing the Azdrake, it seems like Pinpingho is in a pretty good position.
Yeah,
Right.
because the trap is still up.
Yeah.
But not with that draw. That draw kind of nullifies it a little bit.
Right.
That and Ancient of War is one of those cards that was very popular to run like one of in Druid for a while, and then it kind of dipped back out, and Purple obviously favors that still, and I would assume he's only running the 1, but it's going to do a lot of work, especially that Hunter's Mark has already been used, so Pinpingho probably needs to get an Owl, and
Yeah.
that's not one of the things Animal Companion can summon.
And also no more quick shots for Pinpingho.
I really think there's absolutely no hope anymore.
Yeah, no more quick shots, and that's
Yeah.
just. It's just
I mean,
game.
there is a world where I guess if, let's see, Huffer,
No.
Oh.
ooh, a little bit of action coming out there from Purple.
Yeah.
I think it's good. I think most people react badly when they get like a little bit bullied in the game.
Okay.
So you want that like emotional advantage. You want every single like
Min-max
slice
it,
of
right?
anything you can get.
And
Okay.
this is a big deal. I mean, getting it to this point, these are the top 16 players in the world for the 2015 season. Like, there's a lot of energy and there's a lot of emotion that goes into it. So, hanging out with Purple at both the America's Championship and these past few days, Purple is an emotional individual. Like, he's very excited to be here. He wants to win. He wants to win it not just for himself, but for his region. So, nothing wrong with a little sportsmanly.
Sportsmanly, thank you.
Little sportsmanly. I'm pretty sure he said sorry.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right,
Well,
so,
the Canadian takes the first game.
Yeah. America's Championship. I want to tout my own horn here, but the America's Championship takes game 1, or the America's Champion.
Yeah, the Americas does include Canada.
I love Canada. I talked about it before. Hot Form Purple, just some of my favorite people. I love Canadians. So.
All right. Well, moving on here, we still have quite a few more games to go. I'm kind of wondering how this Hunter will fit against the other decks because it's so unfamiliar. Hunter's like a class that has so many different variations, but when you look at the actual list, they're not really that different.
Yeah.
So these few slight different decisions that he's made with adding the Hunter's Mark, the double freeze, and like that type of Hunter deck also plays a role. It just it's really hard to gauge how it will work against the Rogue. And
Sure, but I think
don't know
Purple
what to
does have an
expect out of the mage.
advantage, definitely, because he knows that there's only 2 freezing traps in the list now,
Yeah.
so he can play around that pretty well.
That's true.
Yeah, and the Hunters, the advantage of bringing a Hunter deck is that you don't know what traps it is, right? I
Right.
mean, we've seen previously there was a bear trap and there were snake traps. It goes all over the place. But once you know them, you have a big edge.
I think also for Pinpingho, that game for his Hunter deck wasn't exactly, it didn't go how he wanted it to. When he
Right.
got the Animal Companion way later, he had the 2 quick shots. He pretty much was on just kind of this desert island from like turn 4 to 7. And he was just being reactive. He was just playing down like naked freezing traps. And
You can't do much when you're out.
right,
when you're
so
out, right?
the Hunter should be the aggressor in that matchup. So I feel like he's going to be fine going forward that Hunter deck. It just, the Druid of the Claw coming down. Purple played that really well. He understood, what he had to do. Just keep putting up roadblocks, and Pinpingho wasn't able to put down the pressure.
I think it was a little bit of an issue though because I think that Hunter just does supposed to be so well against the Druid, but yeah, this time didn't quite work out. All right, well, let's get to know Purple a little bit more. Our winner has a few words about his family.
I'm gonna find my happy place for this tournament, so I don't get the nerves on stage. That's a great idea. Definitely gonna have some bars in it, and it's also gonna be on ice. And there's gonna be penguins named Poncho who wear Mexican hats and have nachos in them. Yeah. Can we go there now?
All right, well, our players are getting ready for their second game. In terms of the class lines, we talked about how, you know, we don't really know what to expect from Pinpingho. But if you're purple here, you've already seen some weird stuff already. Do you go with the Rogue, which is more of a reactionary one, or perhaps... What do you guys think this mage deck might be? Do you think it's Freeze Mage? Seems what people have been looking to play recently.
It seems that it is Freeze Mage. At least I would guess it is, because Purple is one of the best Freeze Mage players in the world. You know, him and Firebat would like to talk about Freeze Mage all day.
Okay.
I go like, it's a Freeze Mage, okay?
Well, it is a Freeze Mage.
But then, of course, they have a lot of strategy going into it that, you know, I probably don't understand the full details of it.
No, I love the fact that in this tournament we're seeing everybody bring Freeze Mage, because for a while it was that Tempo Mage, it was Unstable Portal, Spell Slinger, try to get those big tempo plays off Flame Waker, and now just suddenly on its ear because of the change to Warsong Commander, everyone's bringing Freeze Mage again.
It's not that sudden, you know. It was kind of expected.
I mean, I actually expected to see more Tempo Mage, because I think it actually has a lot of very reasonable lineups because of kind of how, I want to say unpredictably, but kind of how that deck plays. But everyone's like, all right, you know, we're not expecting to see much Grim Patron now. I'm going to bring Freeze Mage, feel safe, and yeah, Freeze Mage has been performing very well. Obviously, it's a very powerful deck when you're not worried about running into Warrior too often. Yeah,
that's really it. Freeze Mage was just always very strong against the aggressive lineups, especially ones without silence, which includes the very popular Mysterious Challenger Paladin these days.
You say that, but I mean, Mysterious Challenger Paladin, we just haven't seen it. We saw like maybe 3 of them in round of 40 for North America. Didn't see any at America's Championship. Everyone was playing that mid-range Paladin, and so far, the only Paladin we've seen.
That's true.
It's kind of crazy to me how for a deck that's so popular on ladder, and some people are saying like, oh, this is like the strongest deck in the game right now. People just aren't bringing it to tournament.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah,
that might not exactly be the case.
Sure.
Yeah, there's still, I think, 6 Paladins we haven't seen yet, or 7 Paladins. There's a lot of Paladins left in this tournament that I think just by the odds, some of them have Mysterious Challenger in there.
Sure.
Just by chance. You know,
it would be interesting to see. It would be interesting to see whether there's more mid-range versus...
Yeah, it would be. That's absolutely true. I was actually surprised to actually see that the first Paladin was a mid-ranged one.
Yeah.
All right, well, in this game, we have the turn 1 Mad Scientist. A lot of 2-drops here in the Freeze Mage hand. This is a pretty fun one.
In the case of?
In the case of the game, we have Freeze Mage versus Druid, and both players actually have early games, so it's going to be a back-and-forth game all the way through.
Sure, sure. Yeah, as a Freeze Mage, you'd never want to see the secrets. You just want to see them pop from a Mad Scientist. And as a Druid, you want to see that Lotheb, which Pinpingho has in his hand, and then, you know, curve out to draw more cards, you know, kill them with combo. Or another win condition would be just to press the hero power at each turn to get that armor.
I think it's actually pretty rare that the Druid kills a Freeze Mage with combo. I think it usually happens on the back of like a swipe or something.
Oh yeah, I mean the combo does you know, threaten a lot of damage and pops the Ice Block, and you know when Ice Block is popped on the Freeze Mage's side, they can either use Alexstrasza and die, or they can just keep on surviving for that one more turn, but it's kind of like facing the inevitable at that point.
Yeah, even without taking necessarily the combo into account, because Druid has, you know, Druid of the Claw, which can be charged. That's something that obviously a Freeze Mage is a little bit weaker against, because the Freeze Mage, where it really excels, is a board full of creatures and just locking them down, removing them with Flame Strike, removing them with Doomsayer. Obviously, you can't really deal with the 4/4 Charge Cat from the Druid, so they have a lot of outs like that. Swipe, obviously, as you guys pointed out, does, you know, good amount of damage. Can't really be blocked by Freeze. So Druid, in my understanding of this matchup, and it's actually not one I've played very much at all, but from my understanding, having watched tournaments past, the Druid is actually slightly favored in this one because of those charge minions, because of that direct damage. Even Keeper of the Grove, 2 damage again.
Well, Keeper of the Grove is one of the most interesting cards. I don't know if it's because of the 2 damage. I feel like Keeper of the Grove is one of those cards where if you think that you can push for damage, you'll use it to silence off one of your big minions to do another hit.
Right.
But if you think you don't have enough damage and you're not confident in drawing that gap, you'll have to save it to counter a Doomsayer play. So, I mean, that decision-making is just, you know, very, very advanced.
Yeah, speaking of decision-making there, we see Pinpingho playing down the Big Game Hunter. Obviously, Freeze Mages run Alexstrasza, so he is aware that's in there. But if you're Pinpingho, it's kind of one of those things where if the Alexstrasza comes down and you're brought down to 15 health, that's usually a good indicator that you're probably done. So it's safe to play down the Big Game Hunter as just a tempo play, try to push that damage in.
Well, plus his turns were really, really bad. I mean, if he didn't establish the BGH this turn, this next turn would have been the same thing. Same situation. It would have been really bad. Shout out to the row pad, though, on the left side of the screen.
Yep, that's the muffin.
You call it a muffin?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
His turn for this, Pinpingho's turn this time is not necessarily super strong either. Just looks at removing the loot hoarder, hero powering, and as a druid player in this situation, it's not great because again you just want to keep piling on the pressure, forcing the freeze mage to have Doomsayer, Frost Nova, and those kind of spells. So.
Also, when I just saw that sequencing, the Big Game Hunter to attack first, that seemed very deliberate. Now, I put Flame Leviathan in my Freeze Mage deck.
Whoa.
And I heard Frodan was running into other Freeze Mages with Flame Leviathan in their Freeze Mage deck.
Whoa.
So maybe that was at the back of his mind. Because it did seem very deliberate that he attacked first with the Big Game Hunter.
Sure. The loot hoarder drawing a Flame Leviathan does trigger.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gotta think about it.
It's the little, it's the little things. It's the little things, right?
Yeah.
I will buy you dinner if the purple is running a Flame Leviathan.
Okay. You really don't think he's that experimental?
That
with
seems
it?
very out of character for purple.
Yeah. Purple is all about consistency,
I see.
right?
I see.
Not a gimmicky player, and nothing screams gimmick to me like Flame Leviathan and Freeze Mage.
Oh, it's a lot of fun, I'll tell you that.
It is a very fun card when it all pans out. So he's got a couple of options here. Probably just going to play down the Drake, I would imagine.
Yeah.
You want to save that Lotheb for crucial turns later on where you're trying to block the Freeze Mage from casting those spells that can keep them alive, possibly kill you. Azure Drake just get you to another card, put the 4 on the board.
Right. I feel like if you burn BGH and Lotheb just for tempo, you're basically setting yourself up to lose.
You're making it more difficult for yourself to win, definitely.
Yeah. Well, we talked about the Alexstrasza turn. I think Druid actually is one of the least likely to lose after Alexstrasza comes down because of the aggression, but it's still very high.
Sure. But Pinpingho is running 2 BGHs, so he has a backup plan there.
How about that?
Yeah.
That's another little unusual tech choice. That's right. Now, with 2 BGHs, I guess that reduces the chance that there's a Kazan Mystic in there.
Yes. Sure.
You just can't run all the tech cards
That's
you
true.
want.
Too many tech cards means that your power level of the overall deck is a bit lower.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure when we saw Pinpingho actually at the ESL Legendary Series back in the day, he was running Kazan Mystics as well. He was running Harrison Jones. He is a big fan of those tech cards, so not surprised to see 2 Big Game Hunters, although it does make you wonder what he was looking to run into here. Was he expecting Handlock to come out, or what was he expecting that requires 2 Big Game Hunters?
Control Warrior is also a good matchup for 2 Big Game Hunters.
Right.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, it's still a 3 mana 4/2. Not the worst.
Yeah.
4 damage is
really
a lot
not.
of damage.
Yeah. As good as the Shade is, which is the typical 3-drop inclusion in the Druid deck, often it really just hits something for 3.
And then was taken out. But we saw Pinpingho drops down the Emperor Thor's hand. Great hand for it.
Yeah.
Bunch of cards, got a bunch of value. So, and now Purple's in a spot where, he actually plays down Emperor Thor's hand as opposed to Fireball.
Wow.
Pinpingho's, that is very confident.
Yeah.
I was thinking that Fireball Doomsayer would be pretty good.
Look at that. If he doesn't trade in, and he can actually just swipe the Thor's hand off the board.
Yeah.
So he can keep his own Thor's hand, and then he's got Savage Roar in hand. He's got Force of Nature.
He can actually...
Wait, no, he Lothebs.
Yeah,
it's
Lotheb.
Swipe Lotheb. That's
Lotheb.
almost... That might just be the game.
Yeah. That aggressive play by Purple might come back to haunt him here.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. And we've seen today, Life Coach, too, was another player who was making these more aggressive lines of play.
Sure.
That, he felt could help him win the game. But, every so often, those aggressive lines are going to get you punished.
Well, the only real punish here is, I believe, a Frost Nova, which would otherwise not be playable, but because of Emperor, it would cost 2 mana and then be hit up to 7.
Right.
But now, because Purple
But he doesn't have
didn't
one.
have one,
So
and
he's
Lotheb is coming
really
down.
screwed.
Yeah, Lotheb might come down. Even if he draws a Frost Nova, he can't
Yeah,
play it.
the Frost Nova draw does not save him.
Right.
So this is about to get real bad for Purple.
And
I
Pinpingho
actually don't
setting
know
for...
if he can do anything at
Yeah.
all.
I don't think there's a world. Yeah, Purple, it's on his face. He kind of understands what's happening here. Healbot.
Not
This
really
is
gonna
where
do
you cross both of your fingers.
Maybe your toes as well. You
Well,
grab.
Purple just made a risk, but it didn't pay off, so
Right.
that's okay, right? Sometimes it happens.
Wow.
That's
that is a brutal punishment there.
Yeah, Purple is actually just going to go ahead and concede, and Pinpingho's going to tie up the series 1-1. So he's now on the board. He's going toe-to-toe with the champion from the Americas region. So strong showing from Pinpingho, understanding what he needed to do there to close that out.
Now, I think while it is 1-1, I kind of favor Purple as he is punishing a lot of decks that have small creatures. The Rogue deck and the Mage deck both do that very well.
Right.
Also, I feel like that match was pretty even, the Druid versus the Freeze Mage, while the Hunter versus the Druid actually favored Pinpingho, but he lost that. So even though it is 1-1, it looks like Purple still has a bit of an edge here, but well, it is Hearthstone. A lot of crazy stuff can happen.
Yeah, I do agree. It seems like Pinpingho's Shaman might be the weak link, because Shaman is kind of weak against both of Purple's classes, but it's a Shaman, anything can happen, right?
I was going to say, I really just want to see what's in Pinpingho's Shaman deck, because, I mean, like I said, there are a couple different ways he could take it. If it's that more mech Shaman-oriented build, then I think maybe it has better odds against certain matchups. But yeah, if it's the slower, kind of grindier version of Shaman, that really does just have a super hard time against Freeze Mage, which just always has the answer. It's just, no, slow down, slow down, yeah. So it depends, because if against the Druid, if you can develop the board, and swipe is basically all you have for removal. I mean, so many different things can happen, I guess, is what I'm saying with Shaman decks right now. So it all just comes down to what Pinpingho's actually playing.
Well, we will have a chance to see. But before that, Pinpingho got a game. He has a little bit of a story to tell us about why Taiwan, it's so great that it's part of the Asia-Pacific region. So let's hear his thoughts.
我是拼拼后，大家在亚洲大家都叫我萨门。对于今年把台湾并入亚太区这个做法，我觉得比去年公平，因为这样给了其他区域里一个参加 BlizzCon 的机会。Don't underestimate my shaman. It's like there's a reason why I'm called the shaman itself in Asia.
That was amazing. I didn't know he was the shaman.
Confidence, man.
Like he's the one. There's no other shaman, right? The other ones just try to mimic his shaman.
Oh, so we have another shaman in the top 16.
I believe we do.
Yeah, just like learning from Pinpingho, right?
Right.
Yeah,
right.
Pinpingho is actually one of the 9 classes you can play in Hearthstone. He is the shaman hero.
Whoa, this is spoiler? Alternate shaman skins?
I shouldn't have said anything. But yes, Pinpingho.
Oh, so if Pinpingho does win the whole BlizzCon, then you can buy his skin for the shaman class.
Obviously, that's not something I'm at liberty to comment about.
Okay. I
Obviously,
see where this is going.
He is a very, very proud shaman player.
Okay.
Being called the shaman, he seems to really embrace that name.
Okay, but not yet. We can see if
No,
going to choose the
he's
hunter
teasing.
first.
He's waiting till the end. He's like, I'm not going to show you the shaman list just yet.
Okay.
So,
Yeah,
I'm going to go back to this mid-range hunter.
The hunter does seem... well, is it mid-range now?
I was going to say, we're hybrid, yeah.
It's hybrid.
It's
I think we're
something.
actually struggling to figure out exactly what the...
No. Now we're not. We see the Savant, high main.
Well,
so
have we
can't
seen
know.
the 3-1 charge?
The 3-1
Divine Shield charge? Argent Crusader?
Oh,
2-1.
Argent Horse Rider?
Argent Horse Rider.
Right.
Oh, I
Sorry,
mean, it could
2-1.
be Wolf Rider. It could be Arcane Golem as well. It could be a
That's what I'm
multiple
saying. There's like
things.
some variation to this.
Yeah, it does look like a hybrid hunter with a few tech choices, but it feels like the tech choices are kind of unusual for the deck,
Pretty.
right?
Yeah.
It's like I feel like the hunter's mark. It's like if I saw a big game hunter in the deck, I'm like, whoa, you know. So it just feels a little bit weird, but it does feel like it would do pretty well against some decks, as we mentioned. It should have done quite well against Druid, even though it lost.
Yeah.
Against Freeze Mage, yeah, sounds pretty good.
Hey, Hunter's Mark is good against Freeze Mage. It's
Right.
kind of like Silence on the Doomsayer.
Oh, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we see he chose to toss back the Haunted Creeper, which is interesting to me.
Yeah.
So imagine you'd want to kind of develop that early pressure.
Exactly. You have 2 drops.
Yep.
It's just natural. And the Haunted Creeper does deal 1 damage every turn. It's a lot of damage if you go over multiple turns.
Well, I think the other thing to consider is because he's playing Boom as well as double high main, he might just be saving the coin for one of the big creatures to come out just a little bit early. Because the timing is really the issue that the Freeze Mage has. Like, if you give a Freeze Mage enough time, it just deals with everything. It doesn't really matter what you play.
That's
but
fair.
if you can get something a little bit out too early, it runs the Freeze Mage out of options in a bad spot, and things start to snowball in a very bad way.
Okay. There's also the possibility that Pinpingho is not really running a lot of 3-drops, like Unleash the Hounds, Eaglehorn Bow, and Animal Companion. So if he keeps the coin, he can do Mad Science's Coin Shredder into Shredder or something like that, perhaps.
Yeah, I think unless he gets Animal Companion here. Oh.
Oh.
Well, I don't think you play the Knife Juggler into the loot order.
No, you play the Mad Scientist into the loot
Yeah.
order.
And then you hold on to that Knife Juggler for later on. Although, I don't think you're going to get like a super high-powered combo of Knife Juggler Unleash the Hounds against Freeze Mage.
No.
So, that's kind of disappointing.
Yeah, unless you guys make a minion for Freeze Mage that summons a lot of things.
Yeah, that would, you know, obviously in this particular moment, that wouldn't help, but
Okay.
sure.
Something to keep in mind.
Polished mirror image,
Wow.
like 4 of them.
Wow. That would be a lot of mirror images.
You should join the design team.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I think Mad Scientist is obviously the play here because it's not just that it's you have to do something and it's better than Knife Juggler, but also because you never want to draw Freeze Trap.
Yep.
Ever.
That's his dead card.
Yeah, that's a horrible card.
It actually sometimes comes back to haunt you too, because there's an anti-kill bot, and then there's a freezing trap. Okay, I have to deal 3 damage to anti-kill bot instead of the face.
Yeah.
Looks like Purple's trying to drag the loot order into the Acolyte of Pain. Like, come on.
He's really thinking about going face here. And I wouldn't have blamed him if he did.
So obviously the Acolyte of Pain would possibly get bounced by the freezing trap, but if you're purple, you can just start pinging that to draw more cards, get further into your deck, find those really important cards you need to win the game, and
You also have the very good option just leaving it on the board until you want to start doing that.
Right. You can always change your hero power to draw a card, right?
Well, the only thing I would personally consider is, do you want to just get rid of the trap before the Eagle Horn Bow ever comes out, so you don't have to possibly worry about it? I mean, it's a small consideration because as a freeze mage, you're playing obviously a little bit different win condition than most decks.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like anytime you can deprive your opponent of value,
In the
it's
other
something
hand,
to consider.
It's true. It's
Maybe
true.
they have a freezing trap that's stuck in their hand like last game, and they can't play it.
I think it might depend on like the play style of the players. I know some players play Freeze Mage quite aggressively. They'll often take a risk to push for a kill rather than to take a risk to extend the game to guarantee the kill. So I feel like if Purple is a passive player, he would just never ever trigger the freeze trap. But I don't know. I've actually not seen too many Purple's Freeze Mage games. So maybe you have some insight on that.
Yeah, he does like going face a lot. But I think he'll recognize that this matchup is about, stalling for the moment of Alistraza, getting those Ice Bearers up, getting a lot of health, and then sooner or later the Hunter's going to run out of stuff to do.
Well, those draws were really bad for... okay.
Alright.
Does go for the trigger there. But those draws are extremely bad for Freeze Mage. That's 3 secrets.
Right.
Yeah, and more importantly, like building towards a turn 6 Emperor Thorsan. I mean, you drop Emperor Thorsan with this hand, unless you start getting some burn spells, it's a really underwhelming hand.
Right. The only combo you have is the Doomsayer Frost Nova, and usually giving that a discount doesn't really mean anything.
Right, because it's so mana flexible to begin with at 5 mana. And yeah, Pinpingho actually doesn't really have to address anything this turn, so he can kind of decide now if he wants to just throw down minions and just start seeing like what sticks. Because you are coming up on that turn 5 where the Doomsayer Frost Nova combo is online. So.
And Pinpingho does have the answer to it though with Hunter's Mark and Unleash the Hounds. So it's not that bad if he just swarms the board here. I do think that Pinpingho needs to crank up the pressure a bit.
Right, I mean the mage is 28, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
All you accomplished in the first 4 turns is deal 2 damage. You need to
The only real saving grace for him is that Purple's hand is honestly not great. So.
It's really, really far from great.
It's actually the opposite of great. It's just bad.
It's absolutely horrible.
Oh, another accolade.
This is just not what you want. Yeah, so we're... Okay, if I'm Pinpingho here, knowing this matchup, I'd probably just Hunter's Mark and get rid of the Doomsayer.
Yeah, definitely.
I think you're not going to really get a better... I mean, maybe you do use it to kill Antonidas later, but that doesn't really help you pressure...
That's gonna be Hyman into Boom.
Wow.
It's a pretty spicy curve there.
Oh, man.
Pretty spicy curve.
Hey, Hyman is comparable with Mysterious Challenger, right?
It was the original.
Oh,
the original best 6 drop.
Okay.
Hyman, I'm sure, in a fight versus Mysterious Challenger, really wants to defend his title as best 6 drop in the game. So.
Well, the Piloted Shredder is like the best 6 drop, like at the 5th of the time.
Pilot Shredder?
The Pilot Sky Golem.
Oh, okay.
That's right.
Oh, okay.
You get the Pilot Sky Golem into the Piloted Shredder.
Right.
Into the shielded mini-bot.
Oh, yes.
That's the dream. That is
or
the dream
to
right
Hunt
there.
Creeper. That's
wow,
also
it
fun.
just never dies.
Yeah.
It was Karen before for the longest time, too.
Yeah, it's just not enough pressure from Karen and as things sped up a little bit.
Right, so yeah, he is going to go ahead and play down the Emperor Thorsan, but...
There's nothing else he can do.
Again, yeah. Well, now, he could have just played Double Secrets. Obviously, that would not have felt great.
Oh, Fell Reaver in the Hunter deck.
Wow. So, Fel Reaver, now this is the hilarious thing. Because of Pinpingho's curve, he can actually just hold on to Fel Reaver until later.
Right.
And just play down that high main, play down Dr. Boom, and just keep going. And then he's got a great turn 8 where he just plays down Fel Reaver and still has 3 mana.
Oh.
All right. Well, he's going for some juggles. He wants to keep as much of the board as he
That's a good
still
juggle.
can.
And
That is a
that's
really good
perfect.
juggle.
Yeah, that works out great.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, Pinpingho doesn't actually understand just how not good Purple's hand is.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you can't. You always anticipate like an
Right.
average draw, right?
You're thinking, like, there's fireballs in there. There's probably, like, an Alex Straza. No, it's
Yeah,
just
you're never in the spot like, I'm kind of crushing him. I wonder if he has 3 secrets and 2 acolytes.
There's the Acolyte, or no, not the Acolyte. There's the Arcane Intellect, so maybe he can. He's out of secrets he can draw into.
Oh, man. Mad Scientist after the secrets come up?
No, he still has another ice barrier, I believe.
Okay.
Oh, no, yeah,
No,
you're right. So
Did he use one?
No, I don't think he did. It
no,
was
wait, he did use one, didn't he?
Pinpingho only dealt 2 damage over 4 turns?
Yes, I think so.
Because he dealt with the Loot Hoarder.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
it
believe
was Pinpingho's Mad Scientist.
Yes, it was.
Okay,
Pinpingho did
okay.
play Mad Scientist in
Okay,
the early
okay.
game to get that freeze trap.
Right.
So yeah,
But
Frost
still
Nova
not a
comes
good
out.
position. Yeah.
And I think Dr. Boom now, interesting situation we had earlier.
No, I think Fel Reaver is better than Dr. Boom.
I was gonna say because you lose out on 2 bombs. Yeah.
Okay.
So there's not enough space to play the full Dr. Boom.
Well, those bombs specifically against Freeze Mage are insane.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because they proc on your turn as opposed to their turn. So if you
Right.
Flame Strike, Ice Block doesn't really do anything. You still die from it.
Yeah.
You do want the 2 bombs, so.
Yeah, so obviously, if he plays the Fel Reaver as well, he can put down the Mad Scientist with it. He could Hero Power. But yeah, if he plays Dr. Boom right now, not going to get full value. You can also Quick Shot, but I think you probably want to.
But do you want a
Here's-
quick shot first, the Acolyte, before you play the Fel Reaver? Because the Knife Juggler might just ping the Acolyte for 1.
That's
Oh,
true.
that's
That's a
right.
big consideration. You really never want to let the Freeze Mage have more cards. There just comes a point where you just have to weigh out the value of giving them
Yeah.
1 card, or just getting that 3 damage in. Because it's really close when you beat a Freeze Mage. It never feels just.
It looks like Pinpingho wants the quick shot to the face.
Oh, good juggler. Good juggler.
Yeah.
The juggler knows where the place is. Definitely.
Oh,
Archmage and.
that's
You know, he has the
smart.
discounted secrets, but he can't even use them because oh, okay.
No
so
freeze.
Yeah.
no freeze.
Naked Doomsayer is not going to do the trick here. Maybe he needs to like ping the Acolyte for hopefully a Blizzard, perhaps.
Yeah.
Like you can't do the Blizzard. Yeah, I mean you can do the Blizzard, but you
Right.
can't play the Blizzard with the Doomsayer, and you just lose versus that board next turn.
Yeah, but the next turn you draw another Blizzard, and then you can play Doomsayer, right?
Boy.
No?
Things are looking rough with that mentality.
Yeah. I think that's the best way.
I think really his best chance is to rely on ice blocks keeping him alive
Wow.
and just pushing for it.
But then you can't play Alex Straza on the turn because the board is just
What
too
to
big,
do?
right?
That's right.
So
Yeah, I don't know.
let's see what Purple does.
Imagine actually being purple
Yeah,
trying to figure it out.
exactly.
We're up here like, no, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. That doesn't work.
And we're
That's
2
what he's-
people too, right, Chris?
He's digging. He's digging.
Oh.
Oh my gosh.
No.
This is. Ooh.
I guess Ice Block needs to come up here now.
We have Zuka, Animal Companion, Shredder.
Oh, he's gonna play both of them.
He's getting a lot of cards. It's just, you know,
Oh, Lothev's
Lothev,
gone at least.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but Unleash.
second
Main.
Savannah.
Well, the
And
other
the
thing is,
oh, wow, Fair River's a good card because it sifts your deck
yeah, you get to see everything.
to kill command.
You get to see everything. Oh,
More
yeah,
information,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. This goes back to, you know,
Actually, I
I've
don't think the
listened
kill
to.
command has any relevance in this game at all.
Well, does it? Does
No,
it pop
because-
the block right now?
Um,
Because it might.
yeah, you're right.
So 8.
Yep, it does.
Yep.
It does. Okay. Kill command was pretty good.
Yeah, this is going to be one of those situations where even if Alex Straza comes out, Purple's just going to have Alex
Well, he has to.
He has to
I believe he has to Ice Barrier, Frostbolt, and Healbot.
Yeah.
Ice
stay
Spirit,
alive.
Frostbolt, here.
And I think that kills him.
Is this it? Oh yeah, maybe it is, huh?
Ice barrier and then.
Job done. Well, this is not lethal on the board,
Right.
but kill
Yes.
command should do it. Well, imagine if Pinpingho drew any other card other than the kill command.
Yeah, because that was basically all he got to draw.
Yeah.
Because of Fel Reaver.
But actually, I think he could have stayed alive if all the juggles missed. He would have been at 1 if he
Yeah,
did the
Frostbolt
Frostbolt.
stopped 8 damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is where the math just gets super intense, right?
Mhm.
Because you're trying to think of all these different scenarios inside of 90 seconds to figure out how you can possibly survive.
Yeah.
we
Frostbolt
were-
might have been the play.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, but
Pinpingho's Hunters goes through. The Fel
Pinpingho-
Reaver deck.
2-1.
Yeah.
He's up on purple. He's up on one of the favorites to win this entire thing.
Yeah,
Outside
but
the
really
American
the big question mark of this match was what shaman is it?
Oh.
And how
Yeah,
bad
you're
is it going to
right.
perform against the super anti-aggro list of purple? I mean, we thought they were anti-aggro, but we just saw double Healbot and Freeze Mage.
Yeah.
Like this deck is meant to absolutely mercilessly destroy small
It has one
creatures.
job to
Yeah.
end the world of aggro.
Right.
That's literally just it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it also just ends the world of mid-range decks too. I mean, if you play a Totem Shaman, you also lose against those decks. So it seems like there's very few scenarios where the Shaman is favored against anything.
Yeah, I would think Pinpingho is probably hoping to run into the Rogue as opposed to the Freeze Mage, because the Rogue, you can put enough stuff on the board, stuff like Haunted Creeper, Sticky Minion, Shredder, and maybe try to get it to where, they don't get like a second Blade Flurry or something,
Okay.
and you can hope to win out like that. But that Freeze Mage lineup, or that Freeze Mage deck against Shaman is going to be really difficult for Pinpingho.
Well, we're assuming that his shaman list might run something that we know about, but maybe it'd be
That's
completely
true.
different,
Hey, he's
right?
got Fel Reavers in his Hunter, so
Yeah.
clearly he's got some ideas.
Yeah,
He's capable of everything.
Shaman, it feels like it is one of those classes with possibilities. Like
Yeah.
you could potentially run anything and be good enough in some scenarios.
One turn kill shaman.
I mean, there's that. There's shamans that have like double healing waves, and you're never gonna kill them, and then Malagos comes down,
Oh,
right?
Yep.
you're a fan of that deck.
I've tried playing it. I've had more fun playing other decks.
Okay.
But I really enjoy other people playing that deck.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, it's there's a lineup where it's Ancestors Call to bring out Malagos, and then you already had the Thorosane down, so you get all the discounted spells, and that's where you just start shooting lasers and
Lasers.
lightning bolts and lava, everything, and
Okay.
yeah.
Interesting. But I'm pretty sure that whatever Pinpingho brings, it's the best shaman deck, right? He's
Well,
the
he
shaman
is the
master?
shaman.
Yeah.
No, he's not even the shaman master, Mons. He's the shaman.
Oh, the
Yeah.
shaman. Okay.
There is no one else. Someone else may be a shaman master, but he's the shaman.
That's true, according to him. And speaking of that, he actually had a few words about why he is the shaman. So let's hear that.
基本上我并不害怕遇上任何一个玩家。我的第一个对手 Purple，其实我对他了解的并不太多，了不了解我的对手，其实对我来说并不太重要。我带了萨满、德鲁伊和猎人那当然其中我最喜欢的是我的萨满，因为萨满本人玩萨满不是理所当然的吗？
All right, well, I don't really understand why he is the shaman outside of him just saying that he's the shaman. But I really want him to prove us something here. I want him to show us a shaman we've never seen before.
I like this. He's like building up this alter ego. He's like, I am the shaman. Like that's my superhero persona. I'm out there saving people,
Okay.
being victims with like my totems and my feral spirits. So I like it. There's a lot of showmanship to Pinpingho, and I think that and like the gestures and everything, it makes him a really cool character in this.
So shamans are like classes that save people. Is that the idea?
Well, I think Pinpingho strikes me as a good guy, so I'm going to say
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
I'm going to say yes. Plus
Right.
Thrall. Thrall was always a good guy in
Yeah,
Warcraft.
that's pretty deep
Was he
roleplay.
always a good guy?
Yeah. The roleplay is
asked
getting very
for it.
intense.
Very,
up
very
here.
deep, man.
Yeah.
But Haunted Creeper, hey, you called it.
Okay.
I mean, I don't want to say I was right, but I was absolutely right. And that said, it's kind of it's still a bad situation for Pinpingho.
You're right.
It was. I think there's almost no shaman that does well against this freeze mage.
I would even say Freeze
Doomhammer
Mage.
Shaman is pretty good.
Hmm?
Doomhammer Shaman's pretty good.
Hmm.
Like the Mech Shaman.
Yeah, but with double healbot.
Oh, we saw
Oh,
Bloodlust.
yeah.
There was a Bloodlust in there. That is
Oh.
interesting. That's
Oh,
Pretty cool.
Shamans love that one.
Actually, this is... I think I'm actually running something similar on my own Shaman deck that I've been playing on ladder, because I have the one Bloodlust in there, and then I have the Haunted Creepers, the Totem Wolves.
Okay.
So maybe we talk a little bit. Maybe some ideas.
On the other hand, seeing all the totem cards, seeing Thunderbolt Valiant, seeing the Bloodlust, it seems like a deck that really strives to win the game from having a high volume of creatures, which is the absolute worst thing against Freeze Mage and Rogue.
Okay, so here's my question for you two now. So if you go into this matchup and you assume like, okay, Freeze Mage is terrible for me. This is just going to be an awful match. 90% chance I do not win this. Do you conceal the Bloodlust and not show it? Because that is not a card you expect to see. And going against the Rogue, maybe that's something you want to save as a secret.
Well, here's the thing. You only use Bloodlust to win the game, right? So if you're not going to win the game, you don't need to show the Bloodlust anyway.
That's what I mean.
So it doesn't really matter, right?
Is that the case? I feel like in some cases you do use Bloodlust.
Maybe clear an Antonidas?
Oh,
I don't
to clear?
know.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure your board is just going to get frozen or wiped either way. But if there's a situation where using Bloodlust is good,
it's a good point though.
Then it comes up, yeah.
I just think that's one of those really, like, I mean, you can show the Doomhammer. You expect to see a Doomhammer. You know, Tuskar Totemic, Haunted Creeper, all these cards you expect to see. One Bloodlust, though, you don't expect to see.
We should play the Tuskar Totemic caster guessing game.
Okay, I got Mana Tide.
Okay.
I'll pick Vitality Totem.
I'm picking the Taunt Totem.
Okay.
All right.
I got low hopes for this one.
I talked to Strifecrow, and Strifecrow basically says that Tuskar Totemic is Doctor 3. Because it's like the strongest card at 3 mana.
Potentially.
And it also summons one thing, so it's like half the flavor of Dr. Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a super good card.
Yeah.
And when you guys make a 9 mana 10/10 totem, that's gonna see play again. That's gonna be.
That would be ridiculous.
Yeah, that would be
Please
really
do that.
Some fish.
Like some fish. I love the things he says.
Oh!
No, Crip
wins.
Crip is the shaman now.
all right.
That's a good one actually.
That is a good one.
It's not the best, but it's a good one. I think Mana Tide would have been better, even though you lose the trade, because draws give you more options, give you better counterplay.
Do we all agree Searing Totem would be the worst? Or Healing Totem, I think, in this matchup.
Any O2 totem that's not a taunt totem would be the worst. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair. Purple is out minioning the shaman.
Yeah.
So.
What a surprise. All right.
He could Doomhammer to clear both the minions.
He could Doomhammer, and then you follow up with the piloted Shredder, which is really not too bad because, as we talked about with the Mage, it's kind of difficult to make that switch sometimes from playing defensively, from drawing to actually pushing for it, and every little bit of tempo that you can get kind of pushes that a little bit further away. So if you require the Mage to ping off your 3/1, that's just fine.
Sure. Yeah. Well, at the same time, Purple has a lot of time, and time is not something you want to give to a Freeze Mage. So I would still say Pinpingho is, big disadvantage right now. Something needs to happen.
Well, he's choosing to attack after the Secrets proc, just so he can know for sure what it is.
Sure.
In some cases, this does offer a disadvantage, but I don't think that's much of a risk in this situation.
I think the Purple's committed to just every turn putting down something on the board, just trying to keep Pinpingho as distracted as possible. Because as you said, like the more time Purple has as a Freeze Mage player, the more likely he is to win the game. And obviously he's already got a favorable matchup, so.
Zombie Child not too good against a Freeze Mage. I don't think that's ever going to be played this game.
No, probably not.
Yeah.
I think there will be a desperation point where you're just playing down minions. I see a future where Zombie Child's on the board.
Yep. I absolutely agree with
that. It's not a great future. In fact, it's a very dim future for Pinpingho, but there is a future.
All right.
Is he going to go for the kill?
No.
He is not.
No, he's done. He's done messing around. He's like, it's time to go face.
Doomhammer is 5 mana for 16 damage to the face.
It's very efficient.
Yeah.
It just takes a while for that to actually come to fruition.
Still a lot of damage.
Both fireballs in hands, so that's pretty solid for Purple.
Yeah, I mean, you have Alistraza, you have 2 Blizzards, 2 Fireballs, 2 Anti-Kill Blasts.
I was going to say, his hand is a lot more conducive to what he wants to do this game than it was last game. So.
Right, if you're going to play the pairs game, you want the pairs that aren't secrets.
Right. Pairs are really bad in
Actually, in this case, it's quite strong.
This one?
Yeah, I feel like Alistraza and double Fireball limits your opponent's options so much.
Okay.
I feel like the double Heal Bot and the double Blizzard gives you a ton of time.
Okay.
Do you maybe hex the Doom here?
Well, you need the Hex to respond to like a
Antonitis
threat, right?
or-
Yeah.
yeah,
So I would just
Alexstrasza.
kill it normally and drop the Dr. Broom. Dr.
Yeah,
Broom
Dr.
seems
Boom's
like
so
it's-
strong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so strong.
That's a very good point.
I think if you didn't have the Dr. Boom, you could definitely consider that.
Yeah.
Actually, no, you need a 4
I would have considered the Thunderbolt Veiling if Dr. Boom was drawn. You know, just establish that.
Yeah,
Play
yeah,
down the totem.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just have to play stuff.
Play stuff. Yep. That's definitely what the Shaman needs to be doing.
Yeah, I mean, it's really it though. Like you can't just hex and do nothing.
Yep. You have to be pushing the aggression here.
Wow, Cut Purse is really popular too.
And it's dead.
And
Oh.
it's gone. And it's gone.
3 and okay,
That's-
average.
That's above average result. You got 5 damage out of
But
a
that's
possible.
exactly
the
average.
average.
That's exactly.
Is
average.
he?
Yeah.
I'm so bad at math.
That's all right.
Jeez.
Oh, I'm good at math.
I was thinking like 4 because you think like 8 and anything above 4, but yeah, based
Right.
on
2 to 8 damage.
right.
There is a lot at stake.
There's a lot of stake here.
Steak is gross.
That is a good
Oh.
stake.
That is
Yeah.
an angry healing totem.
Look at it. It's frowning. It's not happy to be here.
Yeah, and I mean, any extra health you can get on your big minions is really valuable.
Right.
So I have to say that is by far the best totem in this situation.
Sure.
Yep. The taunt totem probably not going to get a whole lot of value against
Right.
the.
And
freeze
6
mage.
health is really, really good.
Yeah, I mean, both of those creatures are incredibly threatening. This is really where we get to test how aggressive Purple is willing to play this game. Because if he's willing to just go all out and try to win off an Alexstrasza push, we're going to see the start of that this turn.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, and the Bloodlust is going to do so much work.
Yeah, if only only this was the olden days and Pinpingho had like an Argent Commander in here. Start
Oh.
pushing damage, that'd be good. But
Wow, Flame Tongue Totem as well, even
That's
more
really good.
damage.
what if he had like a Rock Biter plus the Flame Tongue plus the Bloodlust? I mean, that would obviously be a lot of damage, but I don't think he's like anywhere near that.
Well, he's 12 plus 8 plus 9.
You have to assume though, if you put down that Drake is just gonna die next turn. You're already in the range where you are
He has
begging
29
to get Flame
damage.
Strike. Yeah, no, it's very close.
He has yeah, that's a lot of damage. And
Oh, I
also,
think he's just gonna push it.
the Flame Tongue Totem gets buffed by the Valiant as well.
Yeah.
Whoa.
This is Oh, okay.
Oh,
so here,
just using it right now.
Oh, it is 31. It is 31 because of the Thunderbolt Valiant buffing a totem for 2 more.
Oh yeah,
It's 31
it's
damage.
Ice Barrier,
Yeah.
which is a little bit better for Purple. You do not want to get your blocks popped.
There is little time.
on the plus side, Purple is heading into the Alexstrasza turn, and what you want to use it on your opponent. I mean, it does bring you back up to 15 health, so
You don't want to die.
you definitely don't want to die. That would be a real problem for him.
Okay, he's
Keeping
choosing not to.
the Doom Hammer.
I think
for the-
that's very revealing. It doesn't have another weapon.
Yeah.
interesting. Or maybe saving it for the Rock Biter too.
What? I
That's
mean,
true.
Purple has Blizzard, and you have to expect that comes out here. But if he did not have Blizzard, this would be a very bad circumstance.
Yeah, and the Ice Lance actually does pretty well in just removing one of the threats.
Yeah,
Possibly the Valiant, because it actually summons, you know.
Yeah, summons more threats as the
Yeah,
game happens.
yeah. It's like a super Paladin hero power.
This is actually going much better for the Shaman than I had hoped originally.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has a. I mean, if you look at it, he got to play Dr. Broom on turn 7. He started getting value off the Valiant, and yeah, as you said, it's definitely a lot closer than you would expect this matchup to have been.
All
Purple's
right.
also, he's got the burn in hand, he's got the heal bots. Doesn't have a flame strike though, which I'm sure he'd like to be able to find because, playing against a shaman, you expect that board to just get filled up again.
Right. But if I'm Purple right now, I'm just going to set up for the Alexstrasza Fireball, Frostbolt kill.
Yeah.
So in that case, there's no chance to use the Ice Lance properly. So just might as well use the Ice Lance now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I think you might be thinking of just playing the Acolyte.
Yeah, and this is safer. And again, the overall thing here for Purple.
Oh.
Oh yeah, so you can't use the Doomhammer now.
Wow. Okay.
Aggressive.
That was a good Ice Lance. I did not expect it to go that position.
Well, if he had
I don't know
drawn
if it was-
Rock
I don't know
Rider,
if it was objectively good ice, but it was an aggressive Ice Lance.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, more totems.
Okay.
more totems in the Shaman deck. More totems. If he had gotten like
Hey.
double Rock Biter, what?
It is a totem,
Hey.
okay?
Yeah, it is a totem. But if if Pinpingho had something like double Rockbiter and the Ice Lance hadn't gone to the face, then
Right.
Purple would just be dead.
Wow, that's
Very
that
is
aggressive
an
use of Hex.
I would say that is an ambitious Hex. That said, Purple doesn't have a Flame Strike. He doesn't have.
No, he does not.
Oh, let's see. Okay, Frost.
Oh, so
Do you have to play down the Acolyte and ping?
Oh man.
Are you digging? Are you digging now? Wait,
I
even if he
guess
puts it
so.
down, all he could find would be Frost Nova.
Frost Nova?
Well, he's not dead if he kills the Boom and the Valiant.
What to do?
Even from the... Is he? Oh yeah, he is. He does have exactly 11. The Doom Hammer killing the Frog, and then 2 + 3 + 6.
Or the Creeper killing the Frog.
No,
You know-
the Creeper killing the Frog is 1 short.
Minor thing, the Frog's expression is always super exciting to me because he's like, I don't want to be here, and he's like looking at this board right here.
Yeah.
It's like Dr. Boom, a dragon.
The only time the Frog wants to be on the board is when you have a Houndmaster in hand.
Yeah.
Wow. Or Kill Command.
Go ahead.
Frogs can kill, man.
That's true.
Deadly frogs. Deadly frogs.
Time runs out on me.
But yeah, Purple needs to solve the situation.
And I mean,
There's so many different ways to go
Purple
about
is
it.
so
though.
favored, and right now he's on the verge of elimination, and he's looking at some really bad options.
Well, it's I'd have to look exactly at Purple's list, but
Speak to me.
I mean, we haven't seen. I think there's just 1 Flame Strike in his deck, 2 Blizzards, and 2 Frost Nova, so it's totally possible.
He needs that Flame Strike right now.
Yeah.
Wow, the Argus is a pretty insane draw too. You can pump 2 creatures up to 5 health.
Yep. Yeah, this is Purple has tools in his hand, but Alex Straza being used reactively is just not what you want to do as the Shaman play or the Mage player rather.
The issue right now is that for Purple to win, he'd basically need to play Alistraza and Ice Block on the same turn.
Yeah.
And that doesn't happen.
I mean, it's Tharson, and Tharson can't stay alive. So no,
Right.
it's just there's no way of that happening.
Well,
in this
not to
game.
mention if you play Thorazon, you're probably dead.
Really, the only decent circumstance that I see Purple having is getting a Flame Strike now.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
He has 2 chances for it with the Acolyte.
Right, at least 2.
Yeah.
it's worth noting just how much work that one Bloodlust did. Like, it really shifted the game, I think, in Pinpingho's favor.
Yeah, 31
All
damage
that
in 1
damage
turn.
just came out in 1 turn. Yeah. I mean, he's the Shaman.
All right.
What can you say?
Pinpingho's cranking up the pressure again.
But it's not quite enough.
Do you
pressure.
drop Mana Tide here?
Oh, I guess you do.
That's
But,
a bit
oh,
weird.
that's a bit of a
A little bit of a sequencing.
Yeah, sequencing thing.
Let's see if he gets something like a Rock Spider here.
Egg.
Nerubian Egg, wow. That's
All right, let's draw
this
that
deck
card.
is very interesting.
So first we
I think you want
killed
to
the-
attack. You want to attack the Creeper, right?
with the 3/3 first.
No, with the 1/3. No.
Draw a card.
Well, I mean, you're gonna kill everything anyways, right?
Oh, that's right. You want to play
Right.
the Mad Scientist.
Okay, let's see what this card is. Okay.
All right.
So you go for 2 chances.
Yep.
Instead of
To
the
get the
ping on the
Flame
Acolyte for
Strike.
1, right?
Yeah. And if you don't get it, you can still Fireball your Mad Scientist with Ice Block.
Wow.
Oh.
Well, it's not over. Fireball the Mad Scientist
That
is the
just-
play.
That's so
It is really
Purple.
bad because then even if you...
Oh, it's the
it's
next
one
card!
card
Oh,
away.
he's okay. He got Frostbolt. He can Frostbolt the Mad Scientist now.
Oh, clever. Okay. That's a force in play.
Yeah, but now the issue is he needs his other Ice Lands to stay alive against the Doomhammer. Because the block is going to be procced without
Oh,
the
yeah,
weapon.
you're right. Oh, man.
So now he needs the Ice Lance as well.
Exactly, Ice Lance. Because
Yeah.
both Frostbolts are already used.
Yep. The last remaining Ice Lance. But it actually doesn't look like he has much of a deck left, so that might not be that unlikely.
Yeah, he's drawn a lot of cards.
And then
he
Fatigue
really
comes
has.
out?
Yeah. This has just been such a
Very troubling.
crazy match.
Wow, Shaman is in such a good position. I would have never imagined this scenario.
Yeah. I
No,
would
but
never
I'm telling you, it's the Bloodlust that turned it around. Like,
Mm-hmm.
doing all that damage at once, as Crip pointed out, now you're not just trying to like stay alive, you also have to really work hard to stay alive and still try to find your win condition. And he has cards that lead to a win condition in hand, but now every single turn has to be about making sure he can't die.
Yeah.
Xing the Acolyte as well. That's really clever.
Like when you play the Shaman, you don't ever want to, like it's never supposed to get to that point, right? You're never
Right.
supposed to be hanging around like 10 health. You just keep controlling the board. But Pinpingho's ability to just put all that damage out at once is
I think the
really
Argus is really important here. Wow.
Oh, wow. No Argus.
Oh, that is
Wow.
wow.
Wow,
All right.
And Purple can Alex Strauss himself next turn.
Yeah. Does Pinpingho have enough resources to make one final push in building a board?
Wow, you're right. Actually, the Argus wasn't very potent.
Yeah.
Because if Pinpingho would have played the Argus, then there would be not enough mana. Yeah, exactly. You have to ping or Ice Block. But he's got Doctor 3.
Well, let's see what Doctor 3 produces. Okay,
Wow.
1 point for you, Robert.
Hey, so I'm on the board. I'm on the board.
All right, Purple, please win so we can see another game.
Amaz, you need to step up your totem guessing game.
Oh, man.
Vitality would have been sick, though, by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would have been pretty good.
This is still really solid to get the Manatite totem. The Shaman, obviously, you know, normally not great at drawing cards, but getting a second Manatite totem for free off a 3-drop is pretty nice. Ooh, Fire Elemental. All right, so you have to, Alex, trust it yourself. You're still going to eat a bunch
What kind
of
of damage are we looking at right now?
So
That's
we have
lethal. No, that's lethal.
10. No,
Oh, no, it's only one charge.
One
Both-
charge.
okay,
Yeah.
I thought it was two charges would
So
have been
it's
lethal.
two damage off lethal.
2 damage off lethal.
I just want to point out, I don't think we've seen a single Rockbiter in this list so far.
That's
I mean,
true.
maybe at the bottom of the deck, but
But really, the question we have to ask is, if he's 2 damage off lethal, how does the mage stay alive next turn? And if he can't, which he can't,
I don't think he can.
how does he
Wait,
win this
Purple
next
has
turn?
one more anti-heal bot, right?
No, he played both of them, I thought.
no,
Oh.
I think I've only seen one this game.
Yeah.
Oh, perhaps.
But then if you play anti-heal bot,
Even
that's 5
then,
mana.
Yeah,
right?
it's still it's 8 health. Like you're not really, you don't have any tools to clear the board.
Sure.
This is again, it's all the moving pieces of the Freeze Mage deck. You know, you have to stay alive, clear the board, try to kill them. It's just a whole bunch of chores you're trying to juggle. And
No, actually, that's exactly right. I think Flame Strike is the only card.
The second one?
He has to draw the other Flame Strike to clear the
Assuming
board
he's
and
running
stay
it.
alive at 2 life.
Oh,
have we seen him
wow.
run a second Flame Strike?
We
No.
haven't seen the
I
second
have not
Flame
seen
Strike.
that.
I mean, he does run 2 anti-heal bots, right? You have to have cut something for it.
Right, exactly.
Also, perhaps a Frost Nova. I don't know if we've seen 2 Frost Novas.
This is interesting.
Antoninus Frost Nova might be a thing. Yeah?
Pinpingho is very
Well,
much.
Pinpingho's going for the clear here.
Yeah, I think he's just
Ooh,
looking at
this-
the deck size of the mage and saying that there's no way that I'm losing this.
Okay.
Just play it safe.
I don't know if that's true, but we'll see.
Second Fire Elemental's really good.
Oh! There's the Frost
And
Nova.
then, oh wow, okay.
Alright.
This makes things more interesting.
Well, if Pinpingho actually went for the face, the Fire Elemental would end the game.
Let's see.
But I just don't know. Like, still Purple is in that spot. How does he stay alive
Wait,
and win at the same
how many
time?
more freezes does he have?
None.
No.
None? No more?
It's double
I-
Blizzard,
that's it?
double Nova.
I think we've seen Double Blizzard and we've
Oh.
seen Double Frost Nova.
Okay.
I think he's got like a Doomsayer in there, which is a really bad draw.
No, we don't, no, we don't want that. Yeah.
I think Pinpingho's arriving at kind of what you said, Amaz, that if he'd gone face here, he could have Fire Elemental.
Yeah,
for the win.
exactly.
So no, he's not confused now. He knows where he's going.
Okay.
Ruby and Egg,
But
solid.
still, very commanding position, right?
Yep. So we basically kind of have to see a second Flame Strike here.
Okay. Here we go. Oh, that's a mini Flame Strike.
You need a full-size Flame Strike here. You don't need
Yeah.
half the calories. You need all that Flame Strike goodness.
I
And
see.
unfortunately, it's just a sheep.
So you have to draw here, I guess.
Yeah.
You could.
Well, are you dead? You can kill 2 Fire Elementals, and then you can attack into 1, 2, 3. And actually, you're not dead.
You're not dead.
He's not dead.
No, it's true.
It's true.
But again, you're still in that hole where you can't win.
Now you have to draw the card.
What is he drawing though?
I'm
Wow.
almost out of
No,
cards.
that's not gonna be it. And
Oh my goodness,
Wow,
Pinpingho's
the
going to take
Shaman
this
takes it.
series.
The Shaman
100%
takes the
win
set
rate.
with Shaman.
100% win rate.
100%
We,
Shaman.
we all owe Pinpingho a real apology for saying that the Shaman just couldn't win this, because...
Oh no, it was just you.
What?
I knew he was gonna win.
Amaz, you
Yeah,
have the lowest totem
I
score on the
knew he was
desk.
going to win. I was just supporting your arguments.
You have the lowest totem score on the desk, Amaz, please. I think...
Oh. Oh, okay.
All right.
yeah.
That was amazing game.
That was a great series, and
Mm-hmm.
just drives home how important one different card in your list that your opponent doesn't expect can be. It's crazy.
And
Bloodlust.
really, we have to understand the repercussions of that game. I mean, how many Shamans are we going to see on ladder tonight?
All bloodlust.
All Bloodlust.
Yeah, you know, Bloodlust is a basic card. Go put it in your deck today.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, well, it is an amazing list. I have encountered the Totem Shaman quite a few times. I think I've encountered with Bloodlust once, but also I think we have to credit the play as well. I mean, it seemed like he was switching from like aggressive to control constantly,
Right.
which made a very controlling deck that basically requires a consistent line of play to be able to react properly. Just kind of a mess. All right.
Completely agree.
Well, great play from Pinpingho, and Rachel is with him now for maybe a few more words.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. I am here with Pinpingho, a.k.a. The Shaman. So we saw today why you're called The Shaman, but I want to know the origin of that nickname.
因为一般来说大家都不太喜欢玩萨满嘛，玩的人非常少。那我是从一开始就玩的非常非常多的萨满，然后各种萨满都尝试过，然后像现在已经根本就没有人在玩萨满了，所以他们就叫我萨满本人这个样子。
No one really plays Shaman, and I'm really the only one nowadays who plays Shaman, and I've tested every single archetype, every single version, and that's why they call me just the Shaman God.
Well, last year, you gave some advice to the Taiwanese players who came out here to compete. And this year, I'm wondering, did the Taiwanese players who came to BlizzCon last year give you any advice?
他们都会给我很多的建议。基本上我有问题的话，我就会直接把问题丢在 Skype 上面，然后他们就会把他们的想法给我这个样子。
Yeah, they gave me a lot of advice. Anytime I have any questions, we have a group on Skype. I just put it up there, and they'll just give all the feedback to me.
Well, thank you so much, Monk, for your translations. And I wanted to ask you, Pinpingho, is it possible, do you have a message in English for your fans that are watching?
Well, I think I didn't do I made a lot of mistakes today, and I will try my best to play to my best for the future matches.
Well, that is a wonderful promise to make, and I'm sure you will, even though you did play great today. You should give yourself some credit, and I'm going to give some credit to our wonderful shoutcasters, too. Guys, I'm going to toss it back to you to wrap up the day.
Thank you, Rachel. It has been quite a day. We've seen 4 players go into the winner's side, 4 players go into the loser's side. Tomorrow will be another great day. We will see the remaining 8 players of the field that we didn't get a chance to see play today. And tomorrow is also going to be a bit of a longer day where we will see eventually 4 players eliminated. We're dropping a quarter of the group tomorrow. It's going to be the loser matches. Yeah, it is going to be quite an exciting one. So make sure you guys check that out. But for now, that concludes it from the desk today. Robert Namaz, it's been a pleasure watching these excellent games with you guys today. And, well, let's go to the tavern to hear Rachel's thoughts on everything we've covered.
Thanks so much, guys. Just like you said, it was an amazing first day here at opening weekend. We had 8 of our 16 players meet their competition. All the players are going to be back in the tournament tomorrow, and we'll continue their matches throughout the week, but we'll start to see our first players eliminated tomorrow. Tune back in at 9 a.m. Pacific to see who gets eliminated and who will continue on to the main stage of BlizzCon. In the meantime, you can check out the kickoff of the Heroes of the Storm World Championship matches at 1:30 p.m. Pacific, and you can find all the action on BlizzCon.com. That's it for today's Hearthstone broadcast. Check out the highlights, and we'll see you all tomorrow.